The first step in making soap is to measure your fat product. In this shot we're shooting 1 pound, not quite 4 ounces of lard. Once we've measured all of the fat that's necessary to make a batch of soap, we put it in a pan and heat it till it's entirely melted and blended together. At that point, we let it start to cool and watch the temperature so that we can match the temperature with the lye and water that we will see in the next shot. The next step in the process of making soap is to measure the lye. Lye is very caustic, and it is recommended that you wear safety glasses, plastic gloves, rubber gloves, and so forth to protect yourself. Long sleeves, long pants, shoes. Do not try this with your flip-flops on. It's liable to burn your toes if you spill it on you. Now that we've gloved up, we're going to measure our lye. Lye is very caustic, so we want to be very careful with it. We're going to add it until we get the right amount.
Tom has to do this because this takes my breath away.
Got a clump in there that I don't want in here as part of my measurement. At this moment, we're going to add water to the lye. This is very caustic. It will outgas and make a nasty smell. That's why Emma can't do it herself. I'm going to start adding the water now, and you'll probably see some gas come off the top of the container. Now stir it.
Always add cold water.
Yes, this will heat, the lye will heat the water up to about 200 degrees. Be very, very careful with this. This could harm you. Also, it's smoking, so we're going to step away and get some fresh air. At this point, we use a candy thermometer to measure the temperature of the lye water. We also use a thermometer to measure the temperature of the fat. When both get down to about 102, 103 degrees, they're ready to mix together. So we will wait for probably about an hour. While we wait for the soap, for the oil and the lye to cool down to a temperature where we can mix them together, we're going to make a batch of sausage, gravy, and biscuits. This is sausage from one of the pigs that we raised here on our farm. And in this bowl, we're making biscuits. We can see that our temperature of our oil is slowly dropping, and we also see that our sausage is cooking. So we should be ready to make sausage biscuits here. Our fat continues to cool, and our sausage gravy is cooking and looking very nice. Nice thickness, just like we like it.
Okay, the biscuits are ready. It's time to eat the biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits, gravy, and our soap is cooling down still. Temperature's now down to 117.5 degrees. We're getting close to being able to stir this together. We got to get down about 15 more degrees. The lye temperature is again about the same temperature as what we were looking at on the thermometer for the oil. So we are soon nearing the stage of mixing the two.
Grinding up some herbs here to put in this first batch of soap. This is the bay leaves and the thyme or rosemary that I've got out of my garden. And boy, did it ever. There you have it, ground up, ready to put in there. Man, I think every man should smell like this.
At this point, we will start adding the cooled lye water to the cooled oil. We do this gently so as not to spill it or get it on anything, also so that it starts to blend. You'll notice that the color starts to turn more opaque and kind of a whitish color. We'll add this until it's all stirred in. Then we'll have to stir for about 30 minutes until we get what they call trailings. So we'll be back here in just a little bit to show you how it looks when we get trailings. At this point, the soap is starting to thicken up. We've already dumped in herbs. This particular batch, we're trying something different. We've got rosemary and bay leaf ground up, and we're adding that into the soap as it thickens. And then when it dries up, this or becomes, bar soap, this will add kind of an exfoliant to the soap. Sometimes we use a hand mixer to help stir the ingredients together. At this point, we're starting to get trailings where the droplets sit on top and don't sink in immediately. We're going to take the camera off now, and we're going to pour this into a mold so that we can put it up to let it cure out. So, stop it now. Now we've got the soap poured into a plastic box for a mold. Now we've poured the soap into a plastic sweater box that we are going to use as a mold. In a few seconds, we're going to put a lid on it and wrap it in a blanket so that it doesn't catch cold. We'll have to leave it wrapped in the blanket for 2 to 3 days, and at that point we'll be able to knock it out of the mold and cut it and let it cure out.
Okay, here's the second batch. This one got hard real quick, and it's ready to get wrapped up in the blanket to keep it from getting cold too. This one's got a whole different color to it. It's got orange and orange peeling, and it's got bergamot and geranium in it. Great soap for the